Hollywood has always loved reinvention. But behind every empire lies an origin story few dare to tell. Tonight, we go beyond the glamour, beyond the billion-dollar brand, and into the chaos that allegedly shaped one of entertainment's most powerful figures. Kris Jenner. Before reality television crowns, before global fame, there was controversy, ambition, and decisions that would permanently alter an American dynasty. According to resurfaced accounts and biographies, Kris Jenner's early years in Beverly Hills were already surrounded by scandal. Allegations claim that as a young woman, she entered elite social circles through relationships marked by wealth, influence, and controversy, including accusations involving missing gold assets worth hundreds of thousands in today's value. But Hollywood history truly shifted when she married high-profile attorney Robert Kardashian. To the outside world, they were perfection, wealth, status, 4 children, and a life straight out of a Beverly Hills dream. Friends described Robert as devoted, disciplined, and deeply family-oriented. Yet behind closed doors, cracks were forming. Years later, Kris herself would admit that she believed the grass was greener somewhere else, calling her actions the greatest regret of her life. What followed wasn't just a marital breakdown. It was a chain reaction that insiders claim shook an entire family. Children caught between loyalty and heartbreak. A husband desperate to hold his world together. And a Hollywood circle quietly watching the collapse unfold. Because this wasn't merely a divorce story. It was the beginning of chaos, resentment building over 11 years, and choices that would soon explode into one of Beverly Hills' most infamous scandals. And as witnesses later revealed, the moment everything shattered was no quiet separation. It was loud, public, emotional, and it was only the beginning. Coming up next, the affair that turned private pain into public humiliation, and the moment Robert Kardashian began gathering evidence that would change everything. By 1989, the Kardashian household looked flawless from the outside: luxury homes, elite parties, and rising social status in Beverly Hills. But insiders say the perfect marriage was already collapsing behind closed doors. According to Kris Jenner's own late admissions, years of feeling controlled and confined had created deep resentment. Friends claimed Robert Kardashian envisioned a traditional, picture-perfect wife, while Kris allegedly wanted freedom from the life she felt molded into. And then, everything changed. Enter Todd Waterman, a young athlete nearly a decade younger than Kris. Charismatic, carefree, and everything insiders say her structured marriage was not. What began as flirtation quickly escalated into secrecy. Reports later described clandestine meetings across Los Angeles, restaurant rendezvous, hidden apartment visits, and encounters bold enough to unfold within the same social circles Robert trusted most. Shockingly, sources claimed the apartment used for these meetings was allegedly financed through Robert Kardashian's own credit accounts. Hollywood gossip spread fast. Friends noticed unexplained absences. Late nights turned into entire evenings away from home. And according to accounts pulled from Robert Kardashian's private journals, tension inside the household began affecting the children themselves. While Robert managed bedtime routines and family responsibilities, investigators say Kris was living what appeared to be a double life, balancing motherhood by day and secrecy by night. Even members of their inner celebrity circle reportedly distanced themselves as rumors intensified. Because this was no longer a hidden affair. It was becoming public knowledge across Beverly Hills society. And unknown to Kris, Robert Kardashian had stopped relying on trust. He started relying on evidence. Private investigators were hired. Movements documented. Photographs taken. Piece by piece, the attorney known for building airtight legal cases was preparing for the truth he feared most. But evidence alone wouldn't prepare him for what he would eventually witness with his own eyes, a moment that would push a calm attorney past his breaking point. Up next, the investigation, the confrontation, and the infamous golf club chase that stunned Beverly Hills. For Robert Kardashian, suspicion was never enough. He was an attorney. A man trained to believe in proof, documentation, and undeniable facts. And as rumors surrounding his marriage intensified, insiders say Robert made a decision that would quietly transform heartbreak into investigation. Private investigators were hired. Their assignment was simple: follow his wife. What they uncovered painted a devastating picture. Surveillance reports allegedly documented repeated meetings between Kris Jenner and Todd Waterman across Beverly Hills. Early morning breakfasts turned into afternoon disappearances. Luxury restaurants. Private apartments. Hours unaccounted for. Each sighting came with timestamps, photographs, and detailed notes. And according to those close to Robert, he didn't immediately confront her. Instead, he built a file. Friends later described him as calm, almost clinical, treating his collapsing marriage like a legal case preparing for trial. Report after report was added to the growing evidence stack while, at home, Robert continued raising 4 young children amid rising emotional tension. Diary entries from that period reportedly reveal exhaustion, loneliness, and fear for the stability of his family. Nights passed where Kris allegedly never returned home, leaving Robert to manage life as both mother and father. But evidence has limits. Eventually, Robert needed to see the truth himself. One afternoon, abandoning investigators altogether, he followed Kris personally. The trail led him to an apartment he would later learn he had unknowingly financed. And then, he saw them. Inside a parked car, laughing together, comfortable, familiar, living a life that no longer included him. In that instant, witnesses say something inside Robert Kardashian broke. The composed lawyer disappeared. Emotion took over. And what happened next would become one of Beverly Hills' most talked about confrontations. A moment where heartbreak spilled into the streets, and restraint finally gave way to rage. Because the next scene wasn't courtroom drama. It was chaos. The evidence was collected. The truth confirmed. But nothing could prepare Robert Kardashian for the emotional collapse that followed. According to later interviews and witness accounts, the breaking point arrived on an ordinary afternoon in Los Angeles. Acting alone, Robert followed Kris Jenner's car, no investigators, no legal strategy, just a husband searching for certainty. The trail ended at an apartment complex in the valley. Moments later, a car exited the garage. Inside sat Kris Jenner, beside Todd Waterman. They were smiling. Relaxed. Unaware they were being watched. And in that instant, years of betrayal reportedly erupted. Robert jumped from his vehicle and reached into his trunk, grabbing the first object he could find, the golf club. What followed became Beverly Hills legend. Witnesses claim Robert ran toward the moving car, shouting and swinging the club, striking the vehicle as it attempted to escape. Todd Waterman later confirmed the confrontation publicly, stating the blow landed on the back of his car as panic unfolded inside. Kris allegedly screamed for Todd to keep driving, fearing the situation could escalate further. Traffic moved. The car sped away. And Robert Kardashian, respected attorney, father of 4, was left standing in the street, golf club still in hand, watching his marriage disappear in real time. The realization was unavoidable. The fairytale life he believed in was over. But the confrontation didn't end there. Returning home, Robert made a phone call that would echo through Hollywood gossip for decades. Using information gathered by investigators, he contacted Todd directly and delivered a line insiders say captured the depth of his betrayal, a statement referencing the nickname he once used for his wife and the life he believed they shared. Soon after, another unexpected figure entered the drama. Family friend O.J. Simpson reportedly intervened, inserting himself into the conflict and attempting to confront the situation personally, turning an already explosive scandal into a story involving some of the most recognizable names in America. Hollywood wasn't just watching anymore. It was talking. But while the headlines focused on confrontation, the real damage was unfolding inside the Kardashian home. When the dust finally settled, the Kardashian marriage was beyond repair. Divorce followed soon after. But the emotional aftermath lingered far longer than any legal document. According to accounts drawn from Robert Kardashian's personal writings and biographies, the greatest impact wasn't financial or social. It was familial. Friends close to the family described a household caught in emotional crossfire. Children navigating loyalty between parents. A once private family struggle now circulating through Beverly Hills gossip circles. For Robert Kardashian, the betrayal marked a personal turning point. Those who knew him say he withdrew emotionally, focusing on protecting his children while rebuilding stability after public humiliation. But history has a strange way of rewriting narratives. Because while one chapter ended in scandal, another was quietly beginning. In the years that followed, Kris Jenner reinvented herself.